Simple interest is a special case of linear growth in which the starting value is the amount borrowed or invested. So borrowing, you're taking it from the bank. Invested, you're giving it to the bank. The amount borrowed or invested is called your principal amount. That is the amount that you've taken out. So, if you wanted to borrow $20,000, that's your principal amount. Or if you want to give them $20,000, that's your principal amount to give to the bank. And is usually a percentage of this principal that you will get paid for. Let's look at the recurrence model for simple interest. Let Vn be the value of the loan or the investment after n years, and let R be the percentage interest rate. So the recurrence relation for the value of the loan or investment after n years is V of O being the principal or the original amount that was loaned or invested, and we've got V of n plus 1 equals Vn plus D, where this D represents the rate divided by 100 times the initial principal value. So we're going to use this formula. Right, let's have a look at this example. Cheryl invests $5,000 in an investment account that pays 4.8% per annum in simple interest. Model this simple investment using a recurrence relation of the form. So they're telling us VO is the principal. They've given us the formula here and also what D stands for. So in this situation, Vn is the value of the investment after n years, and the initial VO, the principal amount, was 5,000. So we write down VO equals 5,000. They don't want an answer as in find what the investment is worth. They just want us to fill out, substitute the information into this formula. Now we know that the rate is 4.8% as well, which is there. And we know that D is R on 100 times V of O. So this R on 100 times V of O for our D would be 4.8 divided by 100 times 5,000 to give us the value for D. Now if you dump that into the calculator, you get 240, which means it'll go in this section here, 240 in there. V of N, we don't know yet because they haven't asked us for how many years, so we just leave that as it is, and we just plug it in. So we've got V of O equals 5,000 and V of N plus 1 equals V of N, which we don't know how many years we want to do it for, plus our D, which we worked out to be 240. And that's how you get your answer for this one. So once we have a recurrence relation, then we can use it to determine things such as the value of the investment after a given number of years. So let's have a look at an example. Cheryl's interest investment is modeled by V of O, initial investment, so she's given the bank $5,000, and that is the recurrence relation that we work with. Now it's saying, use the model to determine the value of Cheryl's investment after 3 years. So we've got to work out what V3 is after 3 years. So in order to do this, you can do this on the graphics calculator if you like, which I suggest. So I'll show you how to do this on the graphics calculator in a minute. But what I want you to do is, in the first one, it says use the model to determine the value of her investment after 3 years. So write down the recurrence relation, which is this one here. And these are the calculator steps, which I'll go through you now. The calculator steps for doing that question, what you would do is the initial value of the investment was 5,000. So you type in 5,000 like that and press enter. Then we were adding 240 to that, so add 240, and now just keep pressing enter, and that will give you the recurrence relation going forward. So you can just keep pressing enter if you like. So that was our initial, the 5,000 up here was our initial. Then we went to the first year, that's after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And that's it. Very easy, very straightforward. So those were the steps in the graphics calculator. Now that was our screen, as you can see here. So we've got to answer the question. So it says in A, use the model to determine the value of Cheryl's investment after 3 years. That was the initial. After year 1, year 2, year 3, 57.20. So her investment is now valued at 5,720 after 3 years. So that's answering A there. Now in B it says, when will Cheryl's investment first exceed 6,000? Well, she exceeds 6,000 here, so which is there, and that would be year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after 5 years, she exceeds 6,000 and she'll earn, or the investment will be worth 6,200.